The atmosphere aboard the human exploratory vessel Pioneer was a mix of anticipation and unease. Captain James Calloway stood by the main observation window, his eyes fixed on the vivid green and blue planet below. The planet, designated PZ-775, was about to become the stage for humanity's first contact with a sentient alien species known as the Zephyrians. The Zephyrians had been a mystery until recently, when they initiated contact via an interstellar transmission, inviting humanity to visit their world. According to the transmission, the Zephyrians were a humanoid species with a unique societal structure and customs, significantly different from anything known to humans. As the Pioneer descended through the cloud-laden atmosphere of PZ-775, the crew prepared for their historic meeting. The landing module touched down gently on a vast, flower-covered meadow, surrounded by towering, crystalline structures that glimmered under the planet's twin suns. Calloway and his first officer, Lieutenant Sarah Martinez, were the first to disembark, followed by Dr. Henry Liu, the mission's xenosociologist, and Dr. Elena Vasquez, the linguistics expert. The team approached the designated meeting area, a clear space not far from the landing site, where several alien figures awaited. The Zephyrians were strikingly beautiful, with iridescent skin that shimmered with subtle movements. Their eyes were large and expressive, devoid of pupils, reflecting the colors around them like opals. They wore simple, elegant dresses that seemed to be woven from light itself, fluttering ethereally with every gentle breeze. As the humans neared, a murmur of excitement passed through the alien assembly. The Zephyrian, who appeared to be their leader, stepped forward with a graceful, floating gait. Her dress, a cascade of colors, seemed to pulse with a life of its own. "Welcome, friends from Earth," she said in perfectly articulated English, the result of the linguistic data exchange that had preceded the visit. Captain Calloway responded with equal formality, expressing humanity's gratitude and hopes for a fruitful exchange. The pleasantries were brief, as both sides were eager to get to the heart of the visit, understanding each other's cultures. It was then that the unexpected happened. The Zephyrian leader smiled warmly and, to the astonishment of the human delegates, gracefully lifted the hem of her dress. Beneath, instead of legs, there were what appeared to be fine, gossamer tendrils that radiated outward, pulsating gently with radiant colors. Dr. Liu, ever the scholar, immediately whispered to his colleagues, "This must be a greeting gesture, possibly a sign of trust and openness." The other Zephyrians followed suit, each revealing their unique array of shimmering tendrils under their garments. The sight was mesmerizing yet profoundly alien to the human observers. "Among our people," the leader continued, "to reveal one's essence in such a manner is the highest form of greeting. It symbolizes transparency and a willingness to share one's true self. We understand that this may be surprising to you, but we hope it shows our sincere desire for friendship and understanding." The crew of the Pioneer, recovering from their initial shock, acknowledged the gesture. Dr. Vasquez, fascinated, took the opportunity to discuss the cultural significance of such a greeting further. As the conversation unfolded, it became clear that this first encounter would challenge many of the preconceived notions held by both species. For the humans, it was a vivid demonstration that universal concepts of etiquette and propriety could take forms beyond their wildest imaginations. As the suns began to set, casting long shadows over the meadow, Captain Calloway reflected on the events of the day. Humanity was not just stepping onto a new world, they were stepping into a broader understanding of the possible dynamics of life and culture in the cosmos. As the first chapter of this interstellar relationship closed, the night skies of PZ-775 twinkled with stars, a silent witness to the unfolding drama of unity and discovery in the galaxy. As night enveloped the planet PZ-775, the human delegates were escorted to the Zephyrian habitat, a sprawling complex of bioluminescent structures embedded seamlessly into the natural landscape. The architecture was a blend of organic growth and artistic intention, a stark contrast to the metallic angularity of human constructions. Inside, the habitat was alive with soft, pulsating lights, guiding the visitors through winding corridors adorned with natural reliefs and holographic art. The air was filled with a symphony of subtle alien scents and the low, harmonious hum of Zephyrian technology. The Zephyrians, led by their leader Lyria, introduced the humans to their communal living quarters. The rooms were open and interconnected, with no doors or barriers, signifying the transparent nature of their society. Each space flowed into the next, decorated with living sculptures that changed form subtly, reflecting the mood around them. Lyria guided the team to what she described as the Hall of Harmony, a circular room with walls that seemed to be made of water, continuously flowing and reshaping. Here, the humans were invited to partake in a traditional Zephyrian banquet. The table was set with dishes that appeared as vibrant sculpted forms, each emitting its own unique luminescence. Each dish represents a different aspect of Zephyrian life and philosophy, Lyria explained. Eating for us is not just sustenance, but a form of communication and a celebration of our planet's bounty. Dr. Liu, intrigued by the concept, sampled a dish that shimmered with a deep blue glow. The flavor was an unexpected explosion of sweet and savory notes, complemented by a texture that dissolved pleasantly on the tongue. The ingredients are cultivated from our biogardens, Lyria continued, noticing his interest. They are designed to stimulate both the palate and the mind, promoting a deeper understanding of our environment. As the meal progressed, Sarah engaged Lyria in a discussion about Zephyrian governance. The Zephyrians practiced a form of collective decision-making where each individual's thoughts and emotions could be shared and experienced by others through a network of bio-linked consciousness. This ensures a harmonious society where misunderstandings are rare and collective well-being is prioritized, Lyria explained. The concept was fascinating to Sarah, presenting an alternative to the often divisive political systems back on Earth. Meanwhile, Elena was deep in conversation with a group of Zephyrian artists who expressed their creativity through sensory experiences that combined sight, sound, and touch. They invited her to experience a sensory poem, an immersive artwork that conveyed emotions and stories through layered sensory inputs. As the evening drew to a close, Captain Calloway considered the profound implications of these exchanges. The Zephyrians offered a glimpse of a society where individuality and collectivism merged seamlessly, where art and life were indistinguishable, and where every interaction was an opportunity for deeper connection. The night's experiences left the human guests in a state of reflective wonder, pondering the possibilities of integrating some aspects of Zephyrian culture into their own. As they retired to their assigned quarters, the pulsating lights of the habitat dimmed to mimic the natural rhythm of night, encouraging rest and contemplation in the gentle embrace of an alien world. Morning on PZ 775 broke with the twin suns casting a symphony of colors across the sky, hues that seemed to dance between the visible and the unseen. The human delegation awoke to find the habitat alive with the bustling energy of the Zephyrians preparing for the day's activities. Today's agenda was to explore the Zephyrian approach to science and technology. The group was led to the center of innovation, a structure that sprawled like a living organism at the edge of the habitat, its walls pulsing with a rhythmic glow that synchronized with the beating hearts of its visitors. Inside, Dr. Liu was immediately drawn to a display of Zephyrian biotechnology. He observed devices that interfaced directly with the user's neurological pathways, adapting instantaneously to their thoughts and needs. Our technology is like a second skin, a Zephyrian scientist explained. It grows with us, learns from us, and in many ways, becomes a part of us. Sarah was fascinated by the Zephyrians' energy systems, which harnessed the power of the twin suns, not just in the form of solar energy, but also through a process that mirrored photosynthesis. We convert sunlight into chemical energy, which is then stored and distributed throughout our habitat, the scientist shared, pointing towards the transparent veins running along the walls, glowing with stored energy. Meanwhile, Captain Calloway and Elena attended a demonstration of Zephyrian communication technology, which went far beyond verbal and written language. They experienced a device that conveyed thoughts directly from one mind to another, transcending the barriers of language and even the subtleties of tone and body language. With this, we hope to reduce conflicts that arise from miscommunication, the presenter remarked. The visit to the Center of Innovation culminated in the unveiling of a project that the Zephyrians were particularly proud of, a terraforming system designed for barren planets. It combined their advanced biotech and energy systems to create self-sustaining ecosystems capable of supporting life. The potential for such technology in galactic exploration and colonization could be transformative. Captain Calloway mused aloud, his mind racing with the implications for human space expansion. After the morning's tours, the group was taken to the gardens surrounding the center, where the air was filled with the fragrance of exotic plants. Here, the Zephyrians held a discussion forum, allowing the humans to ask questions and share their own experiences and technologies. The conversation flowed naturally towards the possibilities of a partnership between Earth and PZ-775, exploring the potential for joint ventures in space exploration, resource sharing, and cultural exchange. The Zephyrians were eager to learn about human advancements in artificial intelligence and quantum computing, while the humans were intrigued by the Zephyrians' sustainable models of living. As the suns began their descent, casting elongated shadows of the intricate garden architectures, both groups felt a burgeoning sense of partnership. They had begun to see past their physiological and cultural differences, focusing instead on their shared curiosity and potential for mutual growth. The day concluded with a light show in the garden, where the Zephyrians used bioluminescent plants and holographic technology to create a visual narrative of their planet's history, from its geological formation to the present day. The humans watched, captivated by the beauty and the storytelling prowess of their hosts, reminded again of the vastness and variety of the universe's offerings. The following day heralded a significant event, the Symposium of Minds, designed to deepen the scientific and cultural exchange between the Zephyrians and their human guests. The symposium was held in the Chamber of Unity, a venue that resonated with the collective aspirations of both species. Its architecture featured dynamic structures that could rearrange themselves based on the flow of the discussion, symbolizing the fluidity and adaptability of thought and dialogue. Dr. Liu took the stage first, presenting a collaborative model based on human-Zephyrian interactions that could potentially revolutionize interstellar diplomacy and trade. His proposal detailed a framework for an interspecies advisory board that would leverage Zephyrian biotechnological insights and human advancements in robotics and AI. As he spoke, the walls of the chamber shifted, reflecting the intricate network of cooperation he described. Connecting points of light that represented various fields of knowledge and technology merging together. Next, a Zephyrian neuroscientist, Dr. Thal, introduced a concept that had been in development for decades on PZ-775, a neural mesh network that could link different species on a cognitive level to facilitate deeper understanding and empathy. Imagine a world where misinterpretations are obsolete, and where we can truly experience the world through another's senses, Dr. Thal proposed, her voice echoing softly around the chamber. The idea sparked intense interest from Dr. Vasquez, who saw potential applications in overcoming language barriers and enhancing diplomatic negotiations. She discussed integrating this technology with human linguistic databases to create a real-time, emotion-sensitive translation device. Meanwhile, Captain Calloway and several Zephyrian engineers convened a panel to explore cooperative ventures in space exploration. They discussed the engineering of hybrid spacecraft that would incorporate Zephyrian energy-efficient systems and human artificial intelligence technologies. The proposed designs were displayed as holographic models that hovered over the center of the chamber, rotating slowly to show their features from all angles. Sarah, always focused on the practical applications of such high-level talks, initiated a workshop on the side to discuss the logistics of interspecies crew formations, training programs, and mission planning. This session attracted both young Zephyrian students and seasoned human astronauts, eager to learn from each other and to understand the challenges of such integration. As the symposium continued, the discussions branched out into smaller groups, each delving into various technical details or philosophical questions. One particularly lively group debated the ethical implications of shared consciousness networks, questioning how individual privacy and freedom would be maintained. Toward the end of the day, the Chamber of Unity lived up to its name, with every attendee connected through a temporary shared network facilitated by Zephyrian technology. This network allowed everyone to experience a fragment of others' thoughts and emotions, a profound demonstration of Zephyrian philosophy and a hint of future possibilities. As the participants slowly disengaged from the network, they were left with a lingering sense of interconnectedness, a vivid illustration of the symposium's success in fostering not just understanding but a deep, emotional connection between two vastly different cultures. The sun set on PZ 775, and the chamber gradually returned to its initial configuration, the shifting walls coming to rest as the lights dimmed. The humans and Zephyrians departed with new insights and a renewed commitment to a shared future, marked by the day's revelations and the promises they held. As dusk fell on PZ 775, the vibrant hues of the twin sunsets faded into the deep indigo of the evening sky. The human delegation and their Zephyrian hosts gathered at the observatory, a serene location set on the highest plateau of the habitat, where the stars seemed close enough to touch. Tonight's event was informal, intended as a reflective session to discuss personal insights and philosophical thoughts that had emerged from the day's intense dialogues. The observatory's dome retracted, revealing the cosmos in all its splendor, a canvas of infinite depth speckled with stars and distant galaxies. Elena, captivated by the panoramic view, initiated a conversation with Lyria about the cultural impacts of space travel on societal values and worldviews. "Seeing one's home planet from space changes a person," she shared, her voice low and thoughtful. "It instills a sense of unity and vulnerability, an awareness of being part of a larger whole." Lyria responded with a nod, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "For us, it was discovering others in the cosmos that brought change. It expanded our understanding of self and other, and brought with it questions about our place in the universe. Your visit continues that expansion." Nearby, Dr. Liu and a Zephyrian philosopher, Nari, delved into discussions on the nature of consciousness. Nari introduced the concept of stellar consciousness, a belief that consciousness could extend beyond biological entities to the cosmic level. "Imagine if stars, galaxies, indeed the universe itself possess a form of consciousness we can barely comprehend," Nari proposed, gesturing towards the sky. This notion intrigued Dr. Liu, who had always considered consciousness from a neuroscientific perspective. The idea of an interconnected cosmic mind was both overwhelming and fascinating, offering new realms of hypothesis and speculation for his research. Meanwhile, Sarah and a group of Zephyrian strategists sat on the edge of the plateau, sketching out potential missions that could utilize the hybrid spacecraft discussed earlier. Their conversation, filled with technical jargon and bursts of laughter, centered on a mission to a recently discovered habitable exoplanet. As the night progressed, Captain Calloway stood slightly apart, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the curve of PZ 775 met the stars. His thoughts were on the future, on the alliances and partnerships that might blossom from this first contact, and on the vast unknowns still waiting to be explored. The evening wound down with a ceremony led by the Zephyrians. It involved the lighting of incandescent orbs that floated up into the night sky, each orb carrying a pledge from the attendees to pursue knowledge and understanding, irrespective of the vast distances and differences between their worlds. As the orbs ascended, their glow mingled with the starlight, creating a luminous spectacle that symbolized hope and the shared human Zephyrian commitment to a united exploration of the cosmos. The participants watched in silence, each person contemplating the vastness of space and the intricate tapestries of life it housed. The session at the observatory not only fortified the bonds formed during the symposium, but also deepened the individuals' appreciation of their roles in the broader cosmic context. As the assembly dispersed, there was a palpable sense of having touched something profound, a feeling that this encounter between humans and Zephyrians was just the beginning of a long and enriching journey. The final day of the human delegation's visit to PZ 775 arrived with a serene dawn, the twin suns painting the sky in a gradient of peaceful blues and vibrant oranges. The mood among both humans and Zephyrians was bittersweet, marked by the realization that the groundbreaking visit was drawing to a close, yet tempered by the promise of future collaborations. The day was dedicated to consolidating the agreements and understandings reached during the symposium and planning the steps forward. A grand hall, known for its dynamic architecture that could mirror the emotional tone of discussions, was chosen as the venue for these pivotal meetings. Captain Calloway and Lyria opened the session with brief speeches that recapped the week's achievements and outlined the vision for the partnership. They spoke of a newly formed alliance, the Galactic Harmony Initiative, aimed at fostering peace and cooperation, not only between humans and Zephyrians, but potentially extending to other civilizations in the galaxy. Following the opening remarks, Dr. Liu and his Zephyrian counterpart, Dr. Thal, presented a joint research proposal on the neural mesh network they discussed previously. They outlined a phased approach to development, starting with small-scale trials and gradually expanding to include volunteers from both species. Their presentation concluded with a call for volunteers, emphasizing the importance of transparency and consent in such intimate exchanges. Elena and the Zephyrian linguist unveiled the prototype of their translation device, which they had named the Empathy Bridge. This device was designed to facilitate not just linguistic translation, but emotional and cultural understanding as well. The demonstration showed a real-time exchange between a human and a Zephyrian, where not only words but also the underlying emotions and cultural contexts were conveyed seamlessly. Sarah detailed the training programs for interspecies crew formations, highlighting the importance of cultural sensitivity and mutual respect in such endeavors. She introduced a pilot program that would start on Earth and Zephyria, with exchange missions allowing crew members to experience each other's training environments and family lives. As the session progressed, various groups split off to discuss specific logistical and legal frameworks that would support these initiatives. Legal experts and diplomats from both sides drafted the first version of the Intergalactic Cooperation Charter, which outlined the rights and responsibilities of all signatory species, ensuring that exploration and contact missions were conducted ethically and beneficially. The day culminated in a signing ceremony, where Captain Calloway and Lyria, accompanied by their respective delegations, signed the charter and the initial agreements forming the backbone of the Galactic Harmony Initiative. The documents were inscribed using a special ink derived from a blend of Earth and Zephyrian botanicals, symbolizing the union of both worlds. As the suns set on the horizon, casting a dual shadow over the land, the participants gathered outside the hall. A final celebration took place, featuring music from both cultures, a harmonious blend of human instruments and Zephyrian bioharmonics that created a symphony unlike any heard before. The farewell was filled with warmth and mutual respect, with promises to meet again soon, either on Earth or PZ 775. As the human delegation boarded their craft to return home, they looked back at the glowing faces of their Zephyrian friends, knowing that this goodbye was just a brief pause in an ongoing dialogue between their worlds. The Pioneer lifted off, leaving the vibrant planet behind, but carrying with it the seeds of a future that was more interconnected than ever before. The journey back to Earth was spent in reflection and planning, with each member of the delegation committed to turning the vision they had co-created into reality. As the stars whizzed by, the darkness of space seemed less vast, less daunting, and filled with infinite possibilities for friendship, discovery, and understanding across the cosmos.